A couple years ago, ACC men's lacrosse was deemed one of the more dominant conferences in college sports history. But this spring, depending on which poll you look at, just 2 of the 5 teams are in the top 10. Syracuse hovering right around that mark. SU just 6-3 this season, but finally snapped a midseason 3-game losing streak. That came last weekend in winning the Kraus-Simmons Trophy over Hobart. In the midst of its longest title drought ever since 2009, Syracuse continues a postseason push tonight at Cornell. As the 4th longest rivalry in college lacks, the Orange has handled the Big Red recently, winning 3 straight. Not like it's a powerhouse Cornell squad either. The 4-5 Big Red present an opportunity for Coach Desko.
They're a pretty similar team to us. They graduated a lot on offense. We graduated a lot on offense last year. We're both using people without a lot of experience out there. I think they have 4 freshman offensive players out there, a little less experience than us. But it's a big game. We want the defenses to play well, and always we never know what the weather's going to be like in Ithaca, so that'll always be a surprise. We look forward to the game.
Bigger picture, flip script for the SU Lax program. Women had a down season last year while the men were dominant. Now, Gary Gait has the girls playing with the top teams in the country. Today, Syracuse headed west and held off Albany 8-7. Possession was key in this game. Cuse won 14 of 17 draw controls and 6 different Orange scored, including a hat trick from freshman Nicole Levy, her 5th career. That makes it 4 straight wins for SU, not counting the game against Canisius that was postponed when tied at 10. Syracuse moves to 12-3 ahead of number 3 UNC coming into the Dome this weekend. In today's digital world, it didn't take us very long for a producer to get creative. You see now, why is Oprah here dishing out all these Orange players? Well, it's because of all the athletes that don't play for Jim Boeheim anymore. Looking at the classes of 2014 and 2015, Syracuse recruited 7 players. Out of that group, just 1 remains, Tyler Roberson. Tyler Ennis and Chris McCullough left early for the NBA draft. B.J. Johnson transferred to LaSalle. Ron Patterson left for IUPUI. Within the last week, Chino Oboko announced his choice to transfer, nothing where yet. And yesterday, Caleb Joseph left Central New York for Creighton. Second week in April, I'm supposed to be telling you about the Chiefs' 6th home game of the young season, but instead, it's just their 2nd currently in progress. Syracuse's home opener, 4 games canceled due to weather. The other 2 moved down to Lehigh Valley. Anyways, Chiefs are 2-0 but trail the Bisons 2-0. That's all for sports. When we come back, a deeper look at Cuse lacrosse goalie Evan Malloy.
Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Sports on the Quarter. Before Syracuse takes on Cornell for the 101st time, our reporter Chris Thompson investigated a veteran Orange goalie finally getting playing time.
Syracuse goalie Evan Malloy says he's been a backup for most of his lacrosse career.
I mean, even high school, I come from a good high school program. I didn't start until my senior year, so I'm used to this.
But Malloy couldn't be any more comfortable as he replaces a struggling Warren Hill in net. Coach Desko says Malloy's always been a leader off the field, and now he gets a chance to shine in the crease.
He's just been friends with these guys, and he's got 4 years of experience practicing with us. He knows the defenses very well. He's good in clearing situations.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always wanted to approach practice and stuff like I was the starter, or at least had a chance to start. I've been doing that since my freshman year when I was at the bottom of the depth chart.
Now, Malloy has definitely made his impact in the locker room over the last 4 years. But now that he's on the field, Coach Desko says he's making his biggest impact through communicating defensively. He's calling out assignments, but more importantly, he's supporting his teammates.
Playing in front of Evan, it's like energy. It's like every time we play good defense, he'll be like hell yeah, boys, let's go, good D, he'll pump us up. And honestly, as a defense, I think that's what we've been lacking the past couple weeks.
We like our goalies to be somewhat of a quarterback on defense, telling the players out there where to go, who the slide is, who the second slide is, and we're getting some good talk out of him right now.
I think it's like my personality. I think I'm a confident goalie. I've said that before. I think that I have a good relationship with everybody on the team, so I think that I'm comfortable with saying what I feel like I need to say and communicating with them.
The Orange needed a key defensive spark to keep itself going throughout this grueling second half of the season. And so far, it looks like Evan Malloy is doing just that in front of the net. Reporting from Manley Fieldhouse, Chris Thompson, Citrus TV.
Malloy gets his second start against Cornell later on. Up next, we'll span the internet and show you what you missed this week as Sports on the Quarter wraps up.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Sports on the Quarter. We've had enough of me over the last 10 minutes, so that's why we brought you in two people who are definitely funnier to finish up the show, Emily Wood, Matthew Wieselthayer. Guys, huge weekend and past week in sports. I mean, you had the Masters, you had the NHL playoffs getting all set, NBA season winding down. But what's your favorite moment of this time of year in sports?
You know, I'm going to have to go with the Masters for this one. You know, normally I don't follow golf all that heavily throughout the year, but this is one of the few times a year that they get attention in the media, and I think that's really cool for them.
Usually not really focusing on this sport at this time of the year in America. How about Leicester City in the Barclays Premier League? I'm a huge soccer nut, so let's get that straight right away. The Barclays Premier League is not won by these lower tier teams. Leicester City was basically relegated last season, came back at the end of the year to be able to stay in the league this year, and now they just got a Champions League spot for the first time in club history, and they're probably going to win the entire Barclays Premier League. It's nuts. I don't know how that isn't the biggest story.
It is basically the biggest story internationally. This was a team that goes from basically having to tie their final game last season to stay in the league, and now they're going to win the league without a doubt. All right, well, Matt, we're going to start with you. We mentioned the Masters, and you have something just comical for all of us bad golfers out there.
I mean, look, I know like mini golf is hard, and so same as regular golf. I've tried a couple of times, but when you go to putt and you're like 2 feet away from the green,
it's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing. Maybe not for Ernie Els, and we're gonna take a look at this right now. Ernie Els has some issues with putting. I can tell you that. This is the first hole of the entire tournament, and as you can see, he's pretty close, you know, all right. One missed putt, whatever happens. Another okay, whatever. A couple missed putts.
You know, tape your double bogey, move on.
Yeah, listen, you're still in it. Ernie Els, he's won this tournament before, I believe. He's a very good golfer.
He's won 4 majors, Ernie Els. I mean, I can tell you from watching 4 rounds in the Masters, the first hole was not one of the harder holes.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain holes that people got holes in one, but I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point I could even make this putt. And trust me, I am what we call an awful golfer. Finally makes it at least, get off the hole. At least some things go right for him. He ended up getting to play the full 2 rounds. I didn't kick him off for just going having a 6 putter on the first hole, but it's ridiculous.
I think mini golf is one of the hardest sports there is out there. I know every time I go out and play, the ball, it ends up outside the court instead of in the hole.
They should start having professional golfers go mini golfing. I think that would be a better sport for some people.
Yeah, I mean, Happy Gilmore style, right?
Exactly.
So, Emily, we're going to turn to you now. Show us something from the last week in sports.
So now we're going to move on to baseball. We have Yoenis Cespedes on the Mets. He just got his big contract, and we're going to go back to spring training and see what he did there. So spring training, they're playing the Houston Astros. A.J. Reed hits it, and Cespedes just can't find it under. I don't know if he just gave up. He's got the money now. He thinks he doesn't need to bend down and find it.
It's not like it's camouflaged. It's a white ball underneath a blue wall.
He has his glasses on top of his hat. That must be it.
I mean, you can see Reed's confused here. He's like, this is an easy in the park home run. And the ref, he's not having it either. He does not understand what Cespedes says. But guys, nothing matters in the preseason really. It's all about what happens during the season and in the playoffs, but unfortunately, things did not go any better there. The easy fly ball, and he just drops it. Oof. I think my brother's got a little league practice coming up tomorrow. Maybe he should head down there and see if he can pick up a few pointers from those kids on how to play the outfield.
I mean, listen, I'm a Met fan, and when I see things like this, and this is supposed to be our best player, and he's dropping this ball right here, I can make that play. It's ridiculous.
It's April in baseball. It's 2 things that necessarily don't go together because you saw with the Syracuse Chiefs recently, 4 home games postponed to start the year because of the weather. No one wants to be playing baseball in April, and maybe that's Yoenis Cespedes. Maybe he doesn't want to.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why Syracuse doesn't have a baseball team.
There's time. There's still time in the year.
Still time. Well, guys, we thank you for those funny videos, for all the insight throughout the week as the MLB season starts and the Masters wrapped up. For Emily and Matt, my name's Andrew. We thank you for watching Sports on the Quarter, and we'll be back next week at the same time.